In the elder dusk of air, before faith had a name, and when the hills held their breath for fear of waking the dead, there dwelt a lord called Lyre of the shadowed sea. His fortress rose from jagged black cliffs, and the wind that whipped through its halls carried old songs of mourning. He had 4 children, pale and bright as winter stars: Fionnuala, with eyes that saw too much; Aegon, restless as fire in a gale; Fiachra, quiet, with grief folded into every glance; Con, the smallest, whose laughter made ghosts retreat. They were the light of Lyre's bleak world. But where there is light, envy always waits. Lyre's first wife had died young, her death leaving cracks through which shadows seeped. To mend them, he married her sister, Aoife, a woman of elegant smile and frozen soul. She walked the halls like a candle with no flame. She spoke softly, but her silence felt like a room with no windows. And each time she watched Lyre gather his children into his arms, the bitterness inside her grew teeth. At night, she wandered the cold corridors, listening to the sea gnaw the rocks below. It whispered to her, feeding the hunger in her heart. One morning, under a sky the color of old bone, Aoife took the children on a journey. Her chariot was pulled by black horses that snorted steam like spirits escaping their graves. They arrived at Lake Daravarag, still as glass, the moon's reflection broken and scattered across its surface like shards of a shattered mirror. Aoife stepped into the water, skirts trailing like ink. The air tightened. Birds fled. The lake turned unnaturally dark. Then she spoke a spell in a language that hadn't been uttered since the world was young, a language that made the lake recoil. The children felt the magic before it touched them, a tightening of the ribs, a hollowing of the bones, a stretching of skin into feathers. A scream caught in Fionnuala's throat, but escaped as a cry, a swan's cry. Her brothers flapped in panic, white wings beating against the cold air. Aoife watched, expression calm as death. "You have stolen your father's love from me," she said, "so I shall steal his joy from him." They tried to speak, but only sorrowful wails spilled from their new throats. Aoife raised her arms and delivered her curse. 900 years you shall wander, 3 centuries on this lake, 3 upon the cruel sea of Moyle, 3 on the western waters where storms are born. Only when a foreign bell tolls shall your feathers fall, and the years return to you in a single breath. Her voice echoed across the water like a funeral dirge. Then she vanished, leaving only the smell of cold iron behind. The children glided across the lake night after night, singing laments that caused travelers to wake trembling. The locals whispered that 4 ghost swans haunted the water, their eyes too human, too knowing. Lyre came searching, his grief a living creature. When he heard their mournful song, he knew. But he could not break the curse. His heart hollowed, his fortress darkened. Aoife fled into the wilderness and was never seen again. Some say her soul was taken by the shadows she had served. The sea between Ireland and Scotland is a cruel place, where storms have teeth and the water remembers every drowned soul. There, for 300 years, the swans suffered. Winds shredded their feathers. Ice clung to their wings. They were separated for decades at a time, wandering through fog thick enough to choke memory. Only Fionnuala's voice held them together, a trembling thread of song drifting over the waves, a lighthouse in a world with no shore. Here the sea was calmer, but loneliness grew heavier, pressing against their bones like a coffin lid. They forgot daylight. They forgot warmth. They forgot their own faces. Yet they never forgot each other. 900 years later, the world had changed. The old gods had gone quiet. A new faith walked the land. One mist-soaked dawn, the swans drifted near the coast of Connaught, where a small stone church clung to the cliff like a frightened bird. A bell rang a soft, foreign sound. A sound the lake, the sea, the winds had never known. The curse shattered. Their wings dissolved into dust. Their human forms returned, but withered, ancient, nearly translucent, as though the centuries had eaten them from the inside. A monk found them and wrapped them in wool, but he could not stop time from claiming what the curse had spared. As their last breath trembled through the church, Fionnuala whispered, Our wings were cages, but our love kept us alive. Let the world remember that. The four siblings died within moments of each other. The monk buried them together on a windswept hill. From the grave grew four intertwined trees, their branches twisting like pale arms reaching for one another even in death. Some nights, when the moon is sharp and the wind runs low, travelers hear swan song drifting over the hills, soft, sorrowful, older than memory, beautiful in its despair. And they say, the children of Lyre still fly. Their wings are not made not of feathers, but of legends.